Hello, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on when you're watching this, and welcome back to the Grianaig Creations podcast channel. My name is Kirsty, my pronouns are they, them, and I am coming to you from much cooler Paisley in Scotland. Let's pop this down, I'm burning my fingers. So, hi, how is everybody? I am recording really quickly after the last one because I want to get my video up to show what I bought from the Scottish Yarn Festival, which is formerly the Perth Festival of Yarn. I have a couple of really pretty things that I managed to buy. I did have quite a tight budget. I have left one item over on the sofa. I'll grab that later on. Totally forgot because I didn't hide it, but I covered it up this morning with something I brought from downstairs. So it's just like keeking out at the side so I can just see it. Excuse me. It is just kinda nearly the first couple of words I've spoken today. So, I attended the Scottish Yarn Festival on Saturday the 9th. We were not up and out to be there for doors open. Sorry, Scott's just messaging me. We were not up and out to get there for doors open. I just didn't really want to rush myself in the morning. I had already woken up feeling a bit off, and if it really wasn't for the fact that I had a sample to drop off to Ellen of Mrs. Lamb's Yarns, and pick up items from two different stalls, I might not have actually gone. That's like how off I was feeling, but I'm really glad I did. Sorry if you can hear my voice doing weird things. I'm really glad I did, but again I did have quite a tight budget because wedding. So I'm going to show off some of the things I bought in no particular order, but I know for a fact this was the first thing I bought, and I wish I had taken a photo of the sample. I'll need to go on their Instagram and see if they have a photo of this sock, and if it is, I will try and insert the photo. But if there is no photo, it's because I couldn't find one. But on their stall, this yarn really caught my eye, and just the way it was knitted up. So it was knitted up in a sock, and the one thing I do have to kind of preface this by saying is I did notice that their gauge is significantly different from mine. I am a very tight knitter. My gauge for socks is like super tight, so I might not get the same effect, but we will see. But this was the first yarn I picked up. So this is from Bobble and Badger, and it was just such a beautiful sample they had knit up, and it was like diagonal striping, like micro striping almost, and it just looked so fun. So I picked this up. So this is all in a 70-gram sock set. You get 200 meters in 50-gram skein, and then 80 meters in a 20-gram skein, and the colorway is Kevin. That's the label. And then if we look up more closely at some of these colors, I'm not sure if I will keep this. Is my camera going to focus? I'm not sure if I'm going to keep this mini skein in it, or if I'm going to chuck in something with more colour. Maybe like a quite a bright, vibrant colour, or maybe something quite dark and moody. I haven't quite decided, but this was my first purchase, and can I just say this is super soft. This is 85% superwash, extra fine merino, and 15% nylon, and oh my god, it is so soft, like I'm so sorry for all the coughing. It's just my voice waking up. But yeah, this is incredibly soft. It feels so luxurious. Okay, so we may as well get the Fiberpunk section out of the way because you all knew I was buying something from Marcus. So I bought Super Stripes and, oh no, sorry, that's the base. I bought Gummy Worm and Pumpkin Spice Latte. Now I'm going to say something really controversial. I can't stand coffee to begin with, and pumpkin spice everything can just go away. So these are what I bought, but then I got minis to go with them, and I now can't remember which one I picked. I think I picked the teal for the pumpkin spice and then the purple for the gummy worms. I'm not entirely convinced that's correct though. So this is gummy worms. Gummy worm, sorry. And those colours are just awesome. They're gonna knit up so nice. And then I really liked this one because it does just give me like Halloween vibes, even though again I really can't stand anything pumpkin spice. But I just thought this is gonna knit up real nice, that's for sure. And then these are close-ups of the minis. So these are just some really gorgeous tonal, is that the correct word? Semi-solid is not the right word. No, semi-solid is the right word. Some semi-solid colours for heels, toes and cuffs. And these are 20 gram minis. So that is exactly what I need when I am going to be putting in heels, toes and cuffs. So that is my Fiberpunk haul. There is like one other additional skein, but I didn't purchase that and it wasn't a gift. It's to knit up a sample for Marcus. So I will show it off because it's going to look so good knit up. But this one is Seasons. So Marcus was saying that this is dyed with different seasons in mind so that you can work through them. So you've got spring, summer, autumn and winter in this yarn, but he's just not sure how it's going to knit up. So I'm gonna either knit up a big sock tube or I'm gonna get this on the sock knitting machine and get a tube cranked out for him so that he can see what this actually looks like instead of it just being an idea in his head. But isn't that stunning? So yeah, that's that one. Next up, I'm going to show the two skeins of yarn I had commissioned from Fiona of Quack Yarns. I don't know how well they're going to show up because they're very dark colours and these are for the wedding. So the first one is, oh, you can see the purple. Well, you can at least see it on my screen. It always then looks different once I get it onto the laptop. But you can see here that this has purple undertones, but it is a very dark skein of yarn, which is exactly what I wanted. This is Fiona's Violet Ground Beetle, and this is a colour that she stocks normally, so this isn't like a special commission. But basically I put a call out on Instagram to see if there was any dyers that done a similar yarn to like the Nightshade, and Fiona jumped in and was just like, I do, which was really awesome because I love supporting a friend. So this was the first one, and this is in the DK weight, so I got one in DK and then I got a different yarn in 4-ply. Because for anyone that watches regularly, I am making my wedding bouquet and I'm mixing my flowers over 2 different weights. So I'm doing DK and I'm doing 4-ply, just so that I've got different sizes. So I'm going to make a bunch up in this one, and then the next one is very similar to the Violet Ground Beetle, but it's not. And normally Fiona does a colour very similar to this, but when she showed me the photo, I felt like there was quite a lot of blue in it, and that wasn't what I was after. So this one was technically like a special request, and it does look a little bit like the Violet Ground Beetle, but it is different. Like, there's more black in it, and then there are bits where it's like a little bit less dye in it, but I really like that. So the skein doesn't look that great because I pulled, like, she did say like I could unwind the skein and have a look like deeper within the like the layers, and that's exactly what I done. And then I was just like, do you know what, I'm gonna take it because it's just gonna look amazing. Like, there's just enough hint of colour that it's just gonna make it look really interesting, because the roses I'm doing are like separate petals, and then you sew them together. So it's going to look really, really interesting, like seeing the layers within the flower. So these were my Quack yarns. So this one is, I haven't mentioned any of the bases. So this is 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, and this is pretty much exactly the same but in 4-ply. The ones for Marcus are 75% non-museling superwash merino, 25% nylon. 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. Excuse me. I am so sorry for all this coughing. My voice just does not want to cooperate this morning. It's because it knows it's Wednesday, and it's just like, oh, you're halfway through the week. Like, you can make it. Okay, so I'll talk about Ammo yards last, because we all know how much I love them. So my next purchase was very spur of the moment. It was the last thing I bought, and it really just caught my eye. And it was Needle and Thread had a Pride selection. So this is NB Pride, and I just really, really love this. There was a sample knit up and it just looked so awesome. I think their Pride colorways had been so popular because there was at least one that was completely sold out. But there was like a whole host of them. So there was Trans Pride, Lesbian Pride, Gay Pride. I don't know which one was sold out. But yeah, they had a good couple of different ones, and so I picked up this one. So this is a 50-gram skein, and it is 75% blue face Leicester wool. I'm imagining there's then 25% nylon, because it does not state it. I don't know if that's focusing. There we go. So this one's going to be really interesting. I don't think I want to pair this with like a black mini skein. I don't want to then pair it with like the yellow or purple, because it's, I think purple would work. I don't think I've got any yellow. I'm not sure. I need to figure out what I then pair that with for heels, toes and cuffs. So we'll see. And then next up, from Ammo Yarns, I got an advent calendar. That's the thing I forgot to grab. So Becky and John were... I dropped something. Oh. Becky and John were doing advent calendars that you could purchase at Perth, and I asked if she could put one aside. Like, I couldn't pay for it before Perth, but I would definitely pay for it at Perth, and that was absolutely fine. And so when I was at their stall, I seen that they had some really awesome highlighter mini skeins. So I got these. So these are 10-gram mini skeins. Why is my camera not focusing? There we go. So I got 3 10-gram mini skeins. And I got highlighter yellow, highlighter blue and highlighter pink. And there is a sparkle. Maybe the blue will be best to show the sparkle. There you go, you can see the twinkle. So there is a sparkle under this base. It just says sparkle 4-ply merino nylon. But it's always great to have little minis, so I'm going to tuck those away. And then again, along with the advent box, which is over the other end of the room, Becky and John are always so generous and kind, and I've been eyeing up the sock blanks that John has been dyeing, and I knew instantly I pretty much wanted all of them, and because I was on such a tight budget, I couldn't buy all the ones I wanted, which really sucks because I love supporting my friends. I love supporting little indie businesses, but specifically I love supporting my friends. And I've kind of said, like, if 1 or 2 of them haven't sold when I get paid this month, I'm buying what's left. Even though I know for a fact, like, I don't need more yarn. Like, I know that, and I'll talk about that in the next podcast, but there's something about a sock blank, and I'm sorry, but John's work is like fucking pieces of art. So I got this one. So this is, if you're not aware, this is definitely like my childhood. So this is Pokemon, and it's so grunge and awesome. And basically I want to be able to keep like one section of this intact and put it in a frame, and I know that probably sounds so weird, but I do. Like, I really want to keep one in a frame, so I need to find out what end unravels. Not that one. Is it this one? Yeah, so that one unravels. So let's see, can I work this the way I want to? Yes, I fucking can. Sorry for the language. So it looks like this is the side I'm going to unravel, and I think that this square here is the best one, and so I want to, that means I can knit 50% of this, and then I can cut this section out and then knit the last bit. And it's the same with my Ghostbusters one, like I want to keep that as well. So like I think I could frame them, and I know that sounds weird, but I just think they would look so good. But the one I really want, and I hope no one bought, was Spyro, which was also like a throwback to my childhood for playing like the PlayStation. Like I was going to say PS1, but it was just the PlayStation. Oh, so yeah, very nostalgic for me. I love them, and that was a wedding gift. Obviously just for me, not for Scott. He gets the enjoyment of me knitting with it. And then John was very kind and let me buy one of their patches, and I swear to God, guys, if you're watching this, you need to start releasing your t-shirts and your patches. I know you had the patches for sale, but come on with the t-shirts, get on it, because they're so awesome. They had one based on was it Jurassic Park? Is that right? The reason I'm blanking is because my energy depleted so quickly on Saturday that I ended up leaving like really early, and I just came back home and just crashed. I'm just so thankful that Scott was driving, because I'm pretty sure it would not have been safe for me to drive home. But yeah, I had an absolutely amazing time at the Scottish Yarn Festival this year. I keep wanting to say the Perth Festival of Yarn, so apologies if I get it wrong. I do have a couple of business cards I picked up because I want to check them out once I get paid. So I have Westfield Croft. So if you want to check them out. Marguerite Fleming was her name, and she was really, really lovely, and she took the time to tell me her story. And oh my god, there was just something about their alpaca wool and then their Shetland wool that just, honest to god, I just wanted to sit and squish it all day long. So the alpaca being alpaca is just so, so soft. But Shetland, not normally the softest yarn in the world, but their one was so stinking soft. And I really hope that they're back next year, because I plan on going and buying several skeins of it. And the reason I want to do it in person is because I want to make sure it's a soft per skein, because I have decided, and this is controversial, I've decided that I can't do scratchy yarn anymore, and I'm going to go through my stash and I'm going to see if anyone wants it. So I'm talking about my Jameson and Smith, like that kind of yarn. So I'm going to go through all my stuff and just get rid of everything that is absolutely no use to me, because I have a skin condition on my back. It can make it quite painful for me, and I'm just not going to enjoy wearing it or working with it. So I want to catch Westfield Croft in person again when I have money, so after the wedding, and pick up a couple of their skeins of Shetland, because honestly it was just beautiful. Another person I want to check out once I get paid is Hodge Heg Creations. They had some stunning bags. Like, they had a bag with ducks on it that I really, really wanted, but I was at the point where I just didn't have any money anymore, and so I really want to check them out again and see. They also had some really interesting design for their bags, which were really amazing, so I definitely want to check them out as well. And then I really, really enjoyed the Lindsay Walters stall. Her jewellery is stunning, and she had like brooches as well and some really interesting earrings. And I know I've got like my stretched ears, but when I get my double flares back in, like, I can wear earrings as normal, just not studs. So I'm definitely gonna be checking out some of these ones again after I get paid. So yeah, I just thoroughly enjoyed the Scottish Yarn Festival this year, even though I wasn't in the best of, I don't want to say mental spaces, but just overall my health wasn't sitting fantastic that day, and I was extremely tired, but I really felt like the selection of vendors this year was just top notch, and everyone was just so kind. Like, everyone took the time to like talk to me when I had questions or I wasn't quite sure on something, and I spoke to, I'd need to go back and look on the floor plan, but one of the stalls had the polywog spinning wheel that I've always wanted, and I got to see it in person, and I've been talked out of it. Like, that's not a bad thing, please don't take that as a bad thing, but I didn't realise how low down it was. And I tend to, as you've probably noticed in this video, I tend to start moving forward, and that's not good for your back. So she had another wheel on her stall that looked really, really interesting. A bit more bulky than the polywog, but it's a contender for when I do look to get a new wheel. I am quite happy with my Ashford Joy for now, and my e-spinner, and my other e-spinner. But yeah, it was just so nice to walk around and see all the stalls. I do wish I had a wee bit more money, but like I say, I am not really needing to buy more yarn. I do have one purchase sitting aside with my friend Ellen, who had this gorgeous potions bottle, and it had like a wee drawstring cover up section and two, it wasn't a standard rainbow, but the straps were like a slightly like alternative type rainbow. And so I've got that sitting aside until payday. That's the good thing about having some friends in this community. You can ask them very kindly if they'll keep something aside for you. So I think I will get that. I'll be able to pay for it this month, and I don't know if I'll see if she can just ship it or bring it down because she's attending the wedding. So yeah, I just wanted to have this video. Oh, there's one other purchase. How could I forget? I bought something from Toft that I've always wanted. I think I saw this guy when we were at one of the last ever Edinburgh festivals, and I have just always wanted to make my own, and for the life of me I've not been able to find just like the single pattern, so you do have to buy it as a kit. And I just decided to be like, do you know what, screw it, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna get the kit just so that I have the pattern, and then I can make as many as I want, because I'm pretty sure my mum is gonna want one of these. So I get the first one because then I get to work out any issues that I don't quite, because if you look, it's like a loopy but the yarn is not loopy, so I'm gonna have to figure out how you do that part before I start making these for other people. But isn't it cute? So this one's is Edward's Menagerie, and I'm pretty sure this is like Edward the Highland Cow or something like that. Oh my god, that is some good glue. Let's see. Oh sorry, Morag the Highland Cow. Even more reason for my mum to want it. So yeah, as you can see, like everything is in here, the wool, the stuffing, apparently there's a crochet hook, like absolutely everything you could need for this project is in this box, so that's really cool. I'm not going to get that back in. And I don't want the glue to stick to the pattern. There we go. Right, I only have 2 minutes left of this recording, so I am just going to call it quits here, and I'm going to get everything packed away back into the bag. That will then go upstairs and eventually get put into my yarn supply. I also have to start working 20 minutes, so. But thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments down below what you got if you attended the Scottish Yarn Festival, what you purchased, if you got anything, what was your favourite stall. I don't think I have a favourite one apart from, like, I love Amo Yarns because it's just so bright and vibrant. Like, Becky just loves neons as much as I do. But there's definitely a lot of people I didn't get to talk to, definitely a lot of things I didn't to say hang around for is not the right words, but I just wasn't well enough to hang around for, so that is unfortunate. So next time, I think Scott and I have talked about getting a hotel for the night before so that we don't have to do the drive-through in the morning, which I'm pretty sure, even though I'm not the one driving, depletes my energy because it's like just over an hour to get through to Perth for us. So yeah, even though I've been to the festival for the last couple of years, I'm still learning on what to do and what not to do to make sure I have the best time for myself, not other people's input. I'm blabbing now, like that's nothing against the festival, that's just me and my health. So yeah, I had an absolutely fantastic time. I can't wait for next year's because I don't have a wedding to save for next year, so I get more money. But yes, I'm really running out of time for this recording, so I'm just going to wrap it up now. Thank you so much for watching, and until the next video, I will talk to you then. But stay safe and happy crafting. Bye!